What's up, y'all? I'm Rachel, realtor and resident living here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So many of you have been asking me, how is the real estate market in Tennessee these days? Have things slowed down and are people still buying houses? Indeed, we did experience a slowdown from, I would say, about mid-October to the end of the year. It seemed as if buyers just needed a break, maybe for the holidays, maybe because of the burnout of the crazy housing market that we had in 21 and 22. And a lot of people, I think, just kind of were in a wait to see what happened type of mode. At either rate, buyers just weren't booking any showings, be it for existing homes or for new construction. Speaking of new construction, let's actually discuss that first a bit because it really affects the pricing on existing homes as well. Remember, because as inventory of new construction rises and builders have had to lower prices in some cases, the price of existing homes subsequently lowers as well. So in our area in Middle Tennessee, there are tons of new developments being worked on. But as I said, in late 2022, those showings just kind of stopped. This put pressure on builders who needed to sell before the end of the last quarter of the year. And as a result, they're both slashed prices and increased the financial incentives that they're offering to both buyers and in some cases even to their buyer's agent, like offering a commission bonus. The builder financial incentives, this could range from just simply paying for your closing costs to also paying for discount points to buy down your interest rate. They could pay for your title costs as well. You know, when you're working with a builder preferred lender, a lot of times the builders are paying for these incentives. It's not the lender themselves. And as far as all the costs associated with closing on a home in Tennessee, if you're not sure what those are, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be putting out a future video about that. So even with all these financial incentives, builders aren't really selling all the inventory that they need to. I'm seeing a lot of builder listings, at least relative to what we've seen in the last 2 years. I even saw a lot of price reductions on new construction. I would say 5 to 10% price cuts until about January. Now, as the spring buying season is ramping up, more people are getting pre-approved, more people are out looking at houses, and new construction has started to kind of stay steady. At least a lot of the builders at the kind of starting price point for an area, they're going under contract at a steady pace. So they're either staying at their price or increasing in some cases. So things are not slow, but we're not at the breakneck fast pace that we've seen in the last 2 years. So that can still cause a lot of people to just pause and still try to figure out what exactly is going on here. And it's true that some new construction, maybe they listed it high at the end of last year and it's still sitting on the market. And a lot of that has to do with it's listed high because they bought their materials at a higher cost. And now that the materials have gone down and builders can sell at lower prices, they still have that inventory. They're probably going to end up taking it at a loss at some point. However, if you're looking at by and large, you're not going to see those heavy price cuts on new construction like we saw back in 2008. That was part of the cause of the housing crash. Furthermore, if new construction is something that you've had your eye on, the prices, the incentives, the amount of inventory to choose from, all of that is going to make your life a lot easier as a buyer right now, especially as some home sellers are even listing their homes at or higher than their new construction neighbors. And no, that doesn't make sense. But remember that they were likely inundated last year, the last 2 years, with marketing materials from these investment buyers. I'm not even going to say their names, but you know who they are. There's the big three. They like to tell you what your home value is worth and what they would buy it for today. A lot of those investors are losing money, even in our area, because they bought so high. And then there was just this slowdown and they've had to do price cut after price cut. Tend to not be very easy to negotiate with either. So then instead of just taking a lower price that was offered, they'll just end up letting it sit and then having a price reduction later. It doesn't make sense at all. At any rate, these existing homes, what they were last year is not what they were this year. And in some cases, thousands of dollars less. Now, in that case, sometimes they don't quite realize that the market has shifted and they price their home a little bit on the high side to begin with. On the other hand, I'm still seeing a fair amount of homes that are listed below what they would have sold last year, but they're still fetching 100% of what the seller is asking. So with new construction, higher inventory than last year, but existing homes inventory, that's actually lower than last year. So while we may not have as many buyers as we had a year ago, we're also seeing less inventory too. And people still want to buy existing homes. I have some people that they want to be in a home that's a little bit more lived in, have a yard that already has a fence up, because especially with new construction, builders are not going to build a fence. You're going to have to do that once you move in. But then another thing is, if you're looking at the housing price of houses in our area from 22 to 23, you're still going to see overall prices increased from year to year. In our county, in Rutherford County specifically, about 20%. And even in some of the smaller counties like Cannon County, for example, home prices still increased 6% from 22 to 23. I'm expecting to see a lot more modest increase in home values from 23 to 24 compared to what we've seen. But remember, this is going to be normal. In a normal market, you expect homes to increase about 4% year over year. So this 20% that we've seen in 21 to 22, it's just, we can't keep up with that pace. It's just not natural. Sellers, home maintenance, being realistic for what you can get for your home in today's market, that's my bottom line advice. Gone are the days that you could fetch top dollar for a house that needs a lot of repairs. Buyers, they're going to expect a discount on a home that needs a lot of work. Sellers that realize that early, they're going to sell fast. Sellers that try to list a handyman special for top dollar, they're going to see their listing languish on the market because no one wants to pay top dollar for a project. The price of a home, it's affected by a lot of things, the location, the age, the condition of the home. So some of those things you can't change, the location, the age, certain other things of the home. But what you can do is maintain your home and improve its condition while you're living there. Seriously, if you're not doing something to better or at least maintain the condition of your home consistently, your home values are already in decline. Now, the cheapest way to increase your home value, especially when you're selling, a lot of people would say just paint the walls. Some sellers will rationalize refusing to do this by saying the buyer might want different colors. No, the buyer does not want to move into a project. Even if they don't like that color, just paint it something nice and neutral. They can move in and be happy until they decide they want to do it themselves. No one wants to move into your purple kitchen. And at worst, they're going to probably offer you less for something that they do see as needing a lot of work to put into it. Bottom line for buyers, you're not the only buyer out here. Get your finances in order if you plan on purchasing a home in 2023. There are opportunities for buyers to buy a home in Tennessee in 2023, whether it be existing homes or new construction. You may or may not need to act fast. It really just depends on the house. Remember, there are homes that get listed and find a buyer within a day, even if they don't see multiple offers. Sellers, fix up the little things. Make your home as close to new as you can if you want to get top dollar. Regardless if your home's condition is move-in ready or if you just need to sell as is, remember that the most important thing is just to be realistic about price. It is not 2022 anymore. Things are returning to a normal pace. Tennessee is growing quickly, and while buyers may not be flocking here in the same numbers that they did last year, the housing market is still moving. It is still steady. The great news is it's not too late to find a good opportunity to purchase a home here. I would argue it's probably easier than it was a year ago. You can still sell quickly. Just remember to be realistic about pricing. And whether you're planning on moving to Tennessee or you're already living in Tennessee, I'm sure that you'll find something helpful in either of the two videos that pop up on your screen right now. I really appreciate you stopping by the channel, and I will see you at the next video.